Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Automation with Arnab. I am Arnab. Hope you guys are doing very well. So today we will discuss about API automation testing. So in these days, these current days actually, APIs are very important thing. While we are testing any application, that can be a mobile application, that can be a website, web application, that can be a desktop applications. We have observed that we have to test the APIs also. So so many people they have idea what is APIs and all. Okay, so and we are testing using multiple tools. Actually, you can say the most popular one of the most popular tool is Postman. SOAP UI we are using to test the APIs actually manually. So and but those who are new to this testing in domain, I can say testing domain, or very new to IT industry actually, for those people, also those who doesn't have any idea about the APIs, what is APIs and how does it works and all. So for them, so before starting getting into the detail of the automation part, so I'll give a brief idea what is APIs and how it works actually. So what is client server architecture and all. So the people who have an idea, so they can skip this part, okay, and they can start from the actual part, from the automation part, where I'll discuss about the automation, how they can start automate the APIs actually using RestAssured, which is an Java library. Actually using that one we can achieve that one. Okay, you guys can see in my screen actually the API automation testing using RestAssured. Okay, so let's start. So first is that what is an API. So and first is that API stands for application programming interface. So from the name you can understand that it's an interface actually. So what it does actually, so it's an intermediary that allows two applications to talk to each other actually. Means just like that, think about a bridge actually. Okay, APIs is just a bridge kind of thing, so which gives us a way that two applications can talk to each other. Just two application means that you can just think that there is a server and there is a client. Okay, they can talk to each other through these APIs. Okay, so just think about that, all the application we are using these days, just like Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp and all, everything. Okay, so the app like Facebook, I have given an example that app like Facebook send an instant message or check whether your phone you are using an API. Okay, so then go to an example that you can see that when you use an application on your phone, the application connects to internet and send data to server. Okay, and the server then retrieves that data, interprets it and perform the necessary actions and send it back to your phone. Suppose when you open Facebook in your phone or Instagram on your phone, so what it does actually, it's connecting to the internet, and through internet it's sending a request to the server that I need this data. This data means that when I am opening Facebook in my phone, so my data actually, so for me as an user, for my user, what is available, what is the details is it's available in the server. So that request I am the phone is throwing actually. Okay, sending that request, and based on my request it is sending the data to that Facebook application which is installed in my phone, in my device. So it will showing that one. Same happened with the web applications also. So all it's happens actually they are using the client server architecture. So what is a client? So client is a computing system or a program that connects with a remote system or a software to fetch the information, which system that is server. Okay, so the client makes a request to server and is responded with the information. There may be three types of clients, you can say thick client, thin client, hybrid client. So those are the different thing actually. I'm just giving some examples. Okay, and what is server? Server is a system or a computer program that acts as a data provider. It may provide data through LAN or WAN or internet. Okay, so just like the same thing I have just told to you, just I'm given an example of the Facebook. So Facebook, you can think the Facebook app is a client. Okay, and there is a Facebook server, data server somewhere in the internet or somewhere in the Facebook office or wherever they have a data center, there it is. Okay, through internet, so we are sending that request. Okay, from this my mobile device, what the app is installed from the device, that app is sending a request. Based on the request, it's giving us the data and app is showing that data. Okay, so there are different kind of servers are available. So just like database server, application server, mail server, web server, gaming server, file server, etc. and etc. So these are the servers are available. Okay. So next, this is a diagram. So of the client server architecture, you can see that one. So this is a server. Okay. And you can see this through this one we are connecting. You can say this one, what you can say, that these are the clients. You can see that one, the mobile, tablets and the computer. These are the actually internet or something like that, internet or LAN or WAN or internet, you can say. Okay. And this is how the client server architecture works actually. So first what is does actually, first it's try to establish a connection between server and client actually. So and for that it's using HTTP. Okay, this is a protocol actually. And first, once the connection get established, it's sending an HTTP request to the server. Based on the request, it's giving a response from the server, and it's received. The client is getting received the response, HTTP response actually. And this request and response, the format for this request and response is text actually. Text means the XML or JSON. JSON is the most popular format in current days the people are using. Okay. So next is that, so from the earlier architecture you can see that this HTTP request and response we have seen. So what is that? This HTTP request actually, the client request is an HTTP request which communicates between the client and the server. Okay. So two different computers, or you may say two different computer system actually. Just like think that like that. So once you open and a website, let's take the example of Facebook again. You open the facebook.com in your computer. So it's an computer. Inside that there is a browser. Through the browser, using the browser, you are opening the facebook.com, and once you open the Facebook, it sends that HTTP request to the Facebook server. Based on your request, it's giving you the data. Okay. All these things happened using this. They are using XML or JSON, something like that. Okay. So once they are sending that request, that's an HTTP request. Okay. And the structure of HTTP request is that the request line, the headers, there can be zero headers, there can be multiple headers, and optional is that there is a request body. So what it is, so these things we will learn, we will see actually, not learn. So we will see while we will do the automation. Okay. Same thing happened with the HTTP response also. Okay. So what the thing we are receiving actually, that's our HTTP response actually. Okay. The HTTP response contains what are the status, what's the status of the particular HTTP response, the collection of headers, the body. Okay. And while we are testing the response actually, what we validate actually, first we validate the status. What's the status? There are different HTTP status we have to validate. Based on that, we understand that there is a successful response or not successful response. We are that I have mentioned the second point, the error status code. We are validating the response actually, the response body, which is the most important thing actually, where we can find the data, actual data actually. Okay. So this is it. So as I already mentioned that who doesn't have any prior idea on what is APIs and how it works and what is the client server architecture. So for those people and also the newcomers and who doesn't have prior experience, for those people this part. And now we will go to the actual part, the automation part. So in the beginning, first we will learn that how to set up the RestAssured framework actually. Okay. So as you guys can see in my screen that, so I am going to use IntelliJ as an IDE. Okay. So I am expecting that you guys have a prior experience or you guys know that how to write code in Java. Okay. So because I am going to use Java as a language. Okay. And as I already mentioned that I am going to use IntelliJ as an IDE. Okay. You guys can use Eclipse also. Okay. So first what I'll do that, so I'll go to the file, new project. Okay. I'll create a new project. Let's say API automation tutorials. Okay. a new window. Okay, so and as you can see that I have created a Maven project actually. So let me show you, I missed that part. So here you can choose that one. It can be Maven project or the Gradle project. Okay, so you can use if you have an idea that how to use Gradle or Maven. I'm expecting that you guys have some idea. Based on that one you can create the, you can use that build system, and based on that one you can create the project actually. So for me, I will use Maven. I have used Maven actually as a build system. So that's why you guys can see this pom.xml file. Here I'll mention the dependencies actually. Okay, so dependencies means where I have to give the details of the jar of that Java library actually. Okay, so I'll copy from here. Okay, so RestAssured and TestNG libraries I have added, and also I've added a JSON simple. So I'll tell later why I have added this one. Okay, so cleared this one. So this RestAssured version is the latest one, I think the 5.1.1. Otherwise you guys can Google it from the Maven central repository. You guys can get the latest one, latest dependencies. Okay, so jar is getting added. Okay, perfect. Now I am creating the Java class. Let's say tutorial 1. Okay, I'm copying the code from here. I'm not writing the code. Okay, so don't worry, you guys, I'll upload all the code in the Git repository and I'll share with you guys. Okay, so this is a free API you guys can use for your learning or for your practice, you can say. Okay, so I'll give the API details in the video description. Okay, so that you guys can use that one. So first, before getting start, so there are 4 operation I'll show. One is that how to get the details from the server, how to post or how to add. If you want to add anything, okay, means that if you want to make a create in a database, that next is that update an existing data, and last is that delete. So first get the information, second create an information, third update the information, fourth delete the information. Okay, so let's start with the first one, how to get the details. Okay, so as I already mentioned that you guys can use this one for your practice of API automation actually, or API manual testing also you can use this one. So if you open this one in your browser, you can see like this. They have made a very good thing actually. So they have given the examples also how you can use, you can run the scripts also here. So what will be the results also you can get from here. Okay, so let's start with the RestAssured part. So as I already mentioned, first we will learn that how to get the details. Okay, the read part actually. So actually get means the read from the database actually. Okay, so I'll explain line by line. So this is an testng method. Okay, so that's why I have given that at the rate test annotation. Okay, first line is that I have already commented this line, that specify the base URL of the RESTful web services or the REST API actually. Okay, so first is that RestAssured.base URI. You have to give the base URL here, or the actual URL also. For get, you can give the proper full URL also here. Okay, or you can give only the base URL, because the base URL means the base URL. Once you will use the multiple div operations, you can the URL, the extra part can get added with the base URL. Okay, so now you guys can have a question that, so I didn't mention that what is RESTful APIs. Okay, so let's I'm giving one idea that what is REST full APIs actually. So what's REST API testing? So here REST stand for the representational state transfer, and is an architectural style of for communication actually with the web services. Okay, so this is REST stands actually. And as already I mentioned, that what is API? API is nothing but a set of programming instruction used to access the web-based software application, and the APIs built using the REST is called REST APIs. Okay, so next is that the next line, you can see that I have mentioned the REST request specifications, HTTP specification, and the variable name is HTTP request, and what I am calling that there is a given method I am calling, and which is RestAssured method, RestAssured class dot given. Okay, so you can say that this is a static method. See this method, this one, you can see that this is a static method. Okay, so what it does actually, so get the request specification of the request to be sent to the server. Okay, so what will be the request specification? As a so the request consists of some things actually. So what will be the request method? Okay, the get, post, put, or delete. Get stands for to read the data, which we will do here. Post stands for to create a data or entry in database, as I already mentioned. Put means up to update a data. Delete means delete a data. Okay, next, if you have a request body, you can mention, you can add with this request specification. Okay, and also if you have any specific headers also, you can add. Okay, in the next video, in the advanced level video, you will learn that if you have any, if you have to send some authentication, because we all know in the current scenarios all the APIs need some authentications actually. So how to handle those things we'll discuss in the next video. This is the basic one. Okay, to start with the API automation. So this all is for this request specification. Okay, next is that request dot request, and inside that it will accept two parameters. First parameters is that the method. So the method is method dot get, and the next is I am sending as blank. Blank means, so once I will call this URL actually, so it will return all the details. I am not specifying anything, it will return all the details. Okay, so if you copy and paste in your browser, you can see that one. Just so you can see that it's return all the posts, all the data it has actually in the, it present in the database. Okay, so all the data it will return. Okay, if so, I think you guys understand that. Next is that once when I will call this one, so it will return and a response. So I am storing that response inside this using this variable response. You can give as the variable name based as per your choice, and this response is a response type variable. Okay, so this is the response of RestAssured type. Okay, and what I am doing that after that, once I get the response, I am printing the status code, and next the response.pretty print. So what it will do, so it will print the result in a JSON format in a proper JSON manner actually. So let's run this code. So you guys can see that first it printed the status, which is 200, means the success. Okay, you guys can check in the Google that what kind of status are available, HTTP status. Okay, so 200 means that it's a successful response, successful call actually, and there can be other error status code. You can say that 404, 501, 500, something like that. Okay, so these are the all result, and you can see that it's printed in a very good proper JSON format. Okay, so the people who doesn't have idea what is JSON format, JSON format is nothing but the key value pair. You can see that these all datas are present in the key value pair. The key is user ID, the value is 1, the key is ID, the value is 1 for title, body, everything, and these are this is one set of data, this is another set of data. Okay, So something like that. So now if I want a particular data, so let's say I want the data of id 1. Okay, so I need this one only. So how I can get that one? Okay, so you can get like this, as I already mentioned that in this line if we leave this one blank, so it will return all the result. We can give the value here. So if I give the value 2, number 2, so what will happen? So first let's run the code, then I will explain the code. So you guys can see that the id with a value of number 2, it's returning actually. Okay, so I am printing 2 times, that's why it's printing actually 2 times. Don't worry about this, it's printing only 1 time, it's returning 1 value only. Okay, so this one, so what it is actually done actually. So if I go to the browser, let's say post/2, so you can see that, so this is my actual base URI then. Okay, whatever the value I am sending in this line number 17, okay, this is going to add like this. Okay, also we can call like this, it will print the same data. See, it prints the same data, means that it's calling this URL, whatever its URL, it's making a request to this particular URL, whatever the value it has based on this URL, it is returning that one. Okay, otherwise you can mention here, as I already mentioned that, and I have commented also here, that this is your base URL and whatever the parameters or the other query you have. Okay, this is actually I am giving a value actually. Okay, I need this one. Okay, so any specific thing I am giving. Okay, so that this URL /2 for get method, it will get added as a slash. It's not for other thing actually, it's for get. You can add like this. Okay, you can pass that data, so it will get added in the URL. Okay, and based on that one, it will return the value. Okay, so next one very important thing. Okay, so that to parse this JSON. So like this, you cannot test anything. So you suppose you have an Excel where you have the actual data and you have to validate with that one. Okay, or you have the details somewhere else you have stored or anywhere. So how to parse this one? So JSON path you can use. So JSON path is already provided by the RestAssured. Using that JSON path, you can parse the JSON. So response.json path is a method. It's return the JSON path type of data actually. So I'm storing here. So this is the response data, JSON data you can say. Okay, with that there is a method called get, and you can pass the key, as I already mentioned, the user ID, title, body, whatever the keys are available. Okay, you can pass that particular key, it will return that key. So that based on that one, you will suppose I am giving the key value, key is title, so it will return the title. Let's run. So I'm commenting out this 2 line so that we can only see the title. You can see that it's already printing the title. Okay, you can cross check here. Okay, you can give other thing also like body. Let's run this one. It prints the body. Okay, so quick recap. So first you have to mention the base URI or base URL, then you have to mention the request specifications, then in the next line you have to call the method actually, if you want a specific data, you can pass the parameters. Based on that, when you read on the specific details, or you can get all the details. Next is that you got the response. Now it's your call what it will do. You will do first, you can check, as I mentioned already that in the first discussion, that first we will what we are doing we do in the real life scenario is that we validate the status code, so that we ensuring that there is no error is present in the APIs. Based on that, after that we will parse the JSON and we get the data. Based on that one, we're validating the data. Okay, so this is get all about. You can get all the details, you can get a specific data. Based on your requirement, you will implement that. Okay, now we will learn how to use the post method actually. Okay, so this is a post method. So let me copy this one and paste it to my code base. Actually, this is my code base I have created. Okay, so you can see that the rest of the things are almost same like that. First we have to mention the base URI. Okay, then what we have done that, then I have created the request specification. I have already discussed that what is request specification and all. And then for to post anything, post means that I have already mentioned that to post means that I have to create an entry in database. You can assume that, suppose just think that when you are posting anything in the Facebook, so you are writing something or you are adding a photo or videos, once you click on submit or post, so it will show in your timeline. Means that actually what happened in the backend, so it's actually creating a entry in the database. Okay, so same thing, if I want to do same thing using the API, so I have to use the method post method. Okay, and I have to send the data also. Okay, so without sending any data, I cannot create any entry actually in the database, right? So that's why to send the data, I have to create an JSON format. I will send the data in the JSON format actually. Okay, so to create that one, so, and I have already mentioned that to JSON format, in JSON format the data is showing as a you can say that we can see that data will be shown in JSON format as a key value pair. Okay, so to create JSON format data, actually we are using the JSON object. Okay, so to use this one, I have already mentioned that one. That's why I have added the JSON simple, this one, the Google code JSON simple dependency in my pom.xml file. Okay, so this is the request param, or this is a variable of JSON object. I am creating the object of this JSON object actually. The variable name is request param, and request param dot put. First I have to give the key name, key, and then the value. Okay, like this you can create, it will create the JSON format actually. Okay, the data in a JSON format. So, and one more another important thing is that when you are sending the data, actually means we are going to use the, you can say the post method. Actually we have to mention the header. I have already told you that header is an optional thing. We can send header or we cannot send. Here we will send the header, that we will mention that our content type will be JSON. Okay, and this is the way we have to set. These are the keywords actually. We have to maintain these things just like that, that content C is caps. Okay, this hyphen we have to use this one. So these you have to mention these things. Okay, and this is the way we have to send data, that application slash JSON. Okay, and then the request body is inside the request body. What I have done, the request is actually a request specification. Okay, and request dot header, I am adding this header, and then request dot body, I am adding the body and passing the parameter request param to JSON string. So it will actually create whatever it has, so into a JSON string. Okay, and then the same thing, but that is a tricky thing. Here we are sending the data like this. We are calling the get method actually. Request dot request, inside this one the method name and comma as a parameter. Okay, and another parameter. Here we can directly call request, the request specification object dot post, the method you can directly call. Okay, and then inside the parameter you can pass the URL actually, the, you can say that one, this is the extra URL where you can send that one. So this is my base URL, so it will go added it will go add beside this one. Okay, so what will be my added URL, you can say. Okay, and then exactly the other thing is same, so it will return the response actually, then we will parse the response and we'll print this one. Okay, so let's try this one, what will happen. Okay, let's save the data. Sorry, I forgot to add the test annotation. So it's giving me that it's created. Okay, so means that it's a successful, I have make an entry in the database, but this is a fake APIs and all, so for practice, so actually it will not make an entry in the database actually, so don't worry about it. So you cannot see that once we make that entry we can see the data. It's not like that actually. Okay, so don't worry about this one, but it's actually created for your practice purpose and for tutorial purpose. You can see this one. Okay, so this is the status line and this is the body, what body I have send actually. Okay, and this is the response body. So in the post actually it is returning the same response body actually. Okay, whatever I am sending, it's in the response, it is sending the same thing. Okay, with the ID 100, because I am not sending the ID, I am sending the title, body and user ID. Okay, got it. So I think it's clear, it's a very basic thing actually. Okay, so if you have any doubt you can do the comment on the description section actually. So that's it for post. So now it's turned for the put. Put means the update, to update a data actually. Okay, let me copy this one. So don't worry, I'll upload this code in the Git and I'll share the code base with you guys so that you guys can use this code base. It's exactly same, you can see that one, exactly same to edit a post. Okay, just what I have did that, so the response, so the request body I am little bit changing here. So here it is learn API automation using RestAssured, and here it is RestAssured and Java. Okay, and this is also same here, but instead of using post I can use put. Okay, so I'll use the put method. Let's run this one, let's see what will happen. So it's saying that 404 not found. Okay, let's post /1, sorry. Why they are giving an error? Let me check. Now you can say that it's working fine, it's sending me the 200. So what I have did that. So if you go look into the API, so for put actually you have to send post /1 means the ID you have to send. Okay, so based on that ID, this ID it will update the data actually. So what we did manually while we are updating anything in the database actually, just think about that. Based on our primary key, we are updating the data actually. So this id is a primary key, you can say. Using this one they will update the data. Okay, so this is my base url, and this will get added with my url actually. Okay, so then, so first this is the post, and then slash you have to give the id. Okay, it's number one, number two, lot of ids are available, you can add that one. So as I already mentioned that this is a fake api, so it will actually not update the thing actually. Okay, so don't worried about this one, but it will work in your actual thing. If you have any actual apis to practice or something like that, you can use these things like. Okay, and also if you want this for your case, suppose think that it's a you can say this a random thing or it's a dynamic one, so how you can pass this one like this, you can use, oops, sorry, you can use like this. Okay, so it will work. Okay, so get we have did, post, put, now is last is that delete. Okay, to delete a post, exactly same thing, you can say that so here there is no request body is required, but you have to send the base url along with the, you have to send the primary key like that. So this is my primary key, the id one. Okay, the extra methods actually these are the thing, but as per my understanding. Okay, but I'm not sure. This slash base url slash the other things, and the slash the id. For this case they are accepting the ids actually like this. Okay, let's try to hit this one, let's see what will happen. Perfect, it's giving us 200 and it's a blank response is returning, so there is nothing. But in the real world, real thing, it will not delete anything, but it's faking the thing that yes, it's get deleted. Based on the status code we can say that okay, it's a 200, means that it's successful. Okay, so this is the way you can use the delete method also. So in this video you guys learned that how to use the get for all details. You guys learned that how to get the particular details using any primary key or any primary key actually, you can say. Then how to create, how to post a data. Okay, and means that how to create an entry in database, then how to update an particular data using the put method, and last that how to delete an data. Okay, so this is it, this is the very basic thing how to use the RestAssured library, Java libraries actually, to create the, to automate the apis actually. In my later, in the next video I'll give you showcase you the advanced thing, just like that how to parse the JSON dynamically and all, and other things. Okay, so and how to create, and also I'll try to show make a video that how to create a proper framework like that. Okay, with the proper test data, while how you can compare with, suppose you have a test data is in your Excel and you want to compare the test data, it's properly it's coming through the API or not, something like that. Okay, so if you guys have any doubt, please do a comment, or you can directly send an email to me actually. Okay, I'll mention my email ID in the video description, and also I'll share this code base with you guys, so don't worry about that one. And if you like this video, please share with others also, and please do subscribe my channel also. Okay, and if you want any video on any particular subject, please do comment, or if you can send email to me also. Okay, I'll try to create the video on that one. And thank you for your support.